Morning, everybody. How are we doing? We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, check, Instagram, check. I think that's working well. I don't know if I have the best reception on this Instagram computer. I guess we're just going to go with it as it is. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, looking to the end of the week, the second week of live streaming every morning, live streaming every single morning, which has just been an experiment, and I like it. I like it. I think it's going well. As I was logging in here today, I was reading about the Microsoft issues. Microsoft today has been experiencing downtime from a security update, and it's heading into the old school 1990s Windows blue screen of death. I'm having my Americano at a hotel here in Calgary, and she came out and said, hey, we can't, our systems aren't working. Our systems aren't working. We can't charge this to your room. Can you use a credit card? We might be able to do that. The front desk over here, their reservation system is down. So it's the disaster. They're trying to manually log everybody. Airplanes are canceled. Hospital systems are down. Everything. Banks are down, I understand, or a number of them. So it's a disaster, and that's what's been reported live as I'm going on the air now. There has been no report whether they have tried to unplug the system, count slowly to 10, and then plug it back in. I don't know. Just my advice. That's what they always tell me when I used to use Microsoft products. So maybe it will work well for them. Hey, do you follow Naval at Naval on X? This is Naval Ravikant, widely thought to be one of the smartest people in the world, certainly in Silicon Valley. He is a entrepreneur, investor, co-founder of AngelList. He's recognized for his insights on startups, investing, personal development. He's invested in over 100 companies, including Twitter, Uber, and Yammer. I don't know what Yammer is. He's well regarded for his wisdom on wealth, happiness, life philosophy. Yeah, that's all good. He's just a great tweet and a smart guy. So if you want to follow him on X, you ought to. He had a tweet or a post yesterday. I don't think we call them tweets anymore. That was as follows. Don't make decisions out of fear. Do not make decisions out of fear. Don't make decisions out of greed either. I need more coffee to be able to say that properly. Don't make decisions out of fear. Don't make decisions out of greed either. Great advice. Absolutely great advice. Here's how I know is great advice. Years ago, one late night, I was having a bunch of drinks, as I typically was, with this fellow on Bay Street, the Canadian Wall Street, one of Canada's top salesmen in the financial world at that time. For a couple of years, he was the number one guy in the country as a salesman person. And I said to him, I said, what do you sell? Like, how do you sell? What do you think about when you're trying to sell? And he said, Scott, you sell three things. You sell fear, you sell greed, you sell sex. What was Naval's advice? Don't make decisions out of fear. Don't make decisions out of greed either. This top salesman in the country said you sell fear, greed, and sex, and you do it in that order. And you do it in that order. Think of every financial ad you've ever seen in your life on TV, on social media. Think of it. What are they selling? They're selling fear. You need to protect yourself. You're going to lose all your money. There's a recession coming. You need to do this or that to protect you and to protect your family, right? They sell fear. They sell greed. You could buy this product. You can make a bunch of money. You can jump into crypto and become a crypto billionaire. They sell greed all the time, fear and greed. And they sell some form of enhanced value to a potential mate. This is just playing on evolutionary biology. We always want to be more valuable to a potential mate. That's just who we are as human beings. I think that's the sex part of what he was saying, but he said you sell fear, greed, and sex. And if you think about advertisements in the financial sector and probably every other sector, that's exactly what they are selling. So why do they sell fear and greed? Because it works, because that's how we all buy. So when Naval says, don't make decisions out of fear, don't make decisions out of greed either, that's what he's talking about. And it's easier said than done. Yesterday, there was a post somewhere, maybe a LinkedIn post from, hey, there's Ashley saying, hi, we're testing out the comments today live on Facebook. No, you're on YouTube. Cool. So that came through. I don't know how much of a time delay. Maybe try another platform, Ashley. That's super helpful to know that people can comment. So Sam Silverstein, LinkedIn Hall of Fame speaker from St. Louis, friend of the show. We've had him on before, not the live stream, but I've done podcasts with him that you can find. Sam is a great guy, and he is Mr. Accountability. He has some sort of accountability institute that if I were more prepared and not traveling, maybe I would have looked up for you and given you some references to that. But what you could do is check out Sam on LinkedIn, Sam Silverstein, and LinkedIn might be the best way to find him. And you will see references to his content and to the Accountability Institute or whatever it is that he has created. It's pretty cool. I haven't had an update in a year, but you should check that out. Part of his post was, if you are not achieving the results you want, don't look to change what you are doing. If you're not achieving the results you want, don't look to change what you're doing. And you're going to say to me, hey, of course you have to change if you want different results. That's exactly the opposite of what your content has been telling me of what you're preaching, Scott. Oh, wait a minute. He then goes on to say, always evaluate the way you are thinking. He's not saying, oh, I got you on the Facebook comment. Thanks, Ashley, for testing that. Where am I here? Always evaluate the way you are thinking. So he's not saying don't change your action. He's saying change your thinking first. That's what you should focus on. And what you think and believe will drive your actions, and that drives the results you achieve. So Sam says, if you're not achieving the results you want, don't look to change what you are doing. Always evaluate the way you are thinking. What you think and believe will drive your actions, and that drives your results, drives the results you achieve. What does my content say? It says to change your results, change your actions. To change your actions, change your thinking. Same thing. I like mine with respect, Sam. Love you. But the fact that you've come up to the same conclusion as me is why I like Sam. Check him out on LinkedIn. He's got great content. To change your results, change your actions. You'd be shocked how often I see troubled businesses that just do the same thing over and over again, or people in personal coaching that are not performing in their career or as an entrepreneur. They want to the way that they want to perform, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. To change your actions, change your thinking. What does that mean? How do I change my thinking, Scott? Well, start by knowing that you aren't thinking at all. We don't wake up in the morning and start thinking. We are a pattern recognition machine. What we are doing is not thinking. Instead, we are following patterns. We're following our habits. We are the sum of our patterns and the sum of our habits. You need to understand that. That's step number one to changing your results, is understand that what we are is the sum of our patterns and our habits. And then you need to attack the patterns and the habits that are not working for you. Try different things. See if you get a better result and attack that habit loop that I talk about often on my podcasts. And I will continue to talk about more on this live stream as we go forward, for sure. I can give you an example, by the way, of how changing your routines, your habits really impacts everything. I thought, well, I needed to start creating content again. I wanted to try and live stream again now that the technology has improved. Some of you may remember our failed start at, well, it wasn't failed, but a rough start at live streaming years and years ago. So I started this last week, and I was originally going to do 8 a.m. mountains, and then that wasn't working. I felt like I was too rushed. I wasn't getting prepared in time in the morning because I can't prepare until the morning. And if I could prepare in an hour and be ready to go, that would be great. But it's taking me longer. It's taking me an hour and a half, 2 hours to get myself ready and to figure out the technology as I go along. So I did 8:30 mountains, and I want to do it Monday to Friday every day. And I have accomplished that goal because I just wanted to do it as a test and see if I like it and to see what happens. Well, I'll tell you what has happened apart from generating a shitload of content for Ashley to have to go through. What has happened is tremendous sales result. People are calling me. They're talking about things. They think it's an interesting experiment. So that's cool. But also, here's what I didn't expect. I am hyper productive the rest of my day. I broke out of an old routine and the way that I had structured my day. My day is different, and I'm performing way better. I've had an insanely productive couple of weeks strictly because I changed the routine and the habit that I had first thing in the morning. Changed my pattern. I'm getting different results. You know what else happened? Try to predict this. What else has happened is apparently I don't drink much anymore, or at all. Alcohol, I mean. How weird is that? I enjoyed my alcohol. I'm not one that says you need to quit. I know that's a modern trend, but I don't know what's going on. I'm thinking about this live stream at night. I'm thinking I've got to get up at a reasonable hour. I need to be fresh, and I can't have bags under my eyes and my eyes red. And but I'm not even really thinking it. I just I've changed my patterns. I've changed my patterns, and that has resulted in different actions. I was at a fine dinner last night, and I had an old-fashioned mocktail. Did you know that they make bourbon that has no alcohol in it? I didn't know that. It tastes like ginger beer. It was actually really, really good. It's weird. Those that know me are probably laughing their ass off right now. But look at you want to change your actions. You want to change your results. You need to change your actions. You need to change your actions. You have to change your thinking, because we are the sum of our patterns. All right. Let's assume you have a business that is really, really successful. And your primary value and culture that you have set up as an entrepreneur for your business is that of unparalleled customer service. We have the best customer service. We teach that to our staff. We hammer it home. We have signs on the walls of our business: customer service first. We are customer service centric. And that, in fact, is what made your business a success. Every decision you make is geared towards customer service. Every decision. Hey, Catherine, how are you? Thanks for throwing in a comment. We're actually testing whether comments work today, so that's cool. So you've got a business, and everything is customer service centric. It's working well, and including every HR decision. You are giving out bonuses. You are promoting people. You're hiring people based on meritocracy, geared towards this singular value of customer service. this is the business that you have created that is such a success. And then one day you wake up and you think, we're doing so well. We're making so much money. We should introduce a second value. Our second value that we want to introduce is that every single employee will wear a red hat all day, every day. This is our second value. Still got the customer service value. We're not backing away from that. That's the core of our business. But every customer must wear a red hat all day, every day. We got two values. We can walk, we can chew gum at the same time. We are a company that provides unparalleled customer service with a red hat on. That's who we are. Now imagine you are a supervisor in this company and you have 10 reports, okay? So you used to be a supervisor with 10 reports with one value that your executive team is telling you to focus on, which is unparalleled customer service. Every decision you make as a supervisor is geared towards bettering the customer experience. And now you've got the red hat issue, the red hat value. So 9 of your reports, imagine, are okay. Yeah. I mean, they're just average. I mean, everybody has to be average, right? I mean, out of a group of people, you're going to default to the average is what I'm trying to say. So 9 of these reports on the customer service metric are okay. And one of your reports is a rock star, an absolute rock star, the best at customer service. Now, that's a hard metric to measure. There's no real accounting measure for customer service, but you hear, anecdotally, you hear from customers feedback. Everybody loves this one particular rock star on your team. They're outstanding, but you have a problem as a supervisor. You have a problem. And the problem is that your rock star won't wear the damn red hat. They can't wear hats. They refuse to wear hats. They particularly refuse to wear red hats. And you have tried everything and there's no luck, no hat whatsoever. Now, time goes on. You're performing as you were before, except you have one person with no hat on, and we hit bad economic times. We have to reduce staff by 10%. We have to let go of one person. It's your job as a supervisor to identify that person. What are you going to do? Are you going to get rid of the person that is the number one performer in your view, anecdotally, without measurement, without objectivity, but clearly the number one performer on the value of customer service, which made this entire organization a great success? Or are you going to get rid of the person that doesn't wear the hat, the no hat fellow? Well, you have conflicting values. That's the problem here. And the answer is what you're going to do as a supervisor is you're not going to terminate one of the 9 people that are not as strong on customer service. You're going to terminate the person with no hat. Who is the rock star on customer service? Why are you going to do that? Because you're always going to make the short-term decision. As a supervisor, your bonus is tied to it. Your HR performance metrics are tied to something that is short-term, immediate, measurable, and objective. You wear a hat or you don't wear a hat. That's immediate, measurable, and objective. Customer service, that's a little fluffy. So you're looking for a positive impact on you as the supervisor. You get rid of the no hat wearing employee because everyone can see that employee is not wearing a hat. They can't see the customer service. And when you do that, what happens to the organization? Well, the average organizational delivery of customer service drops because you got rid of a rock star. That's what happens. You have moved away from a meritocracy system. That's what happens in that example. So let's carry that forward. Reported by Zero Hedge on X yesterday. If you don't follow Zero Hedge, he's a great follow. He says, and I quote, "Secret Service is appalled by the criticism of female agents after attempted Trump assassination." So the background of this controversy is that the job of these agents, Secret Service agents, in protecting a president is, well, is to jump, basically. I mean, there's all sorts of security, but one of their jobs as being a hero is to jump in front of their protectee. And so they have the female agents on the detail, and they have a bunch of shorter, well, three, I think, particularly shorter women agents covering a 6'3" body. And so basically, if you saw it on the video, his whole top half was exposed. So that's part of the controversy, and they combine that with the idea that the head of the Secret Service stated goal is 30% women on duty. And to do that, they changed the admittance requirement, the physical performance requirements, including height, as I understand it. So listen, before I dive into this tweet by or post by Zero Hedge, I do want to say that women run almost all of my companies, and they have for a long, long time. Frankly, they're usually better employees. We have the odd guy in my businesses that I own that is terrific. AJ, for those of you that know the group, AJ's a rock star. He does a great job. But for the most part, we're run by women, and they're better employees, and they perform better, they execute better. And I'm not talking about just in professional roles. I'm talking, executive positions in any industry. I don't have firsthand knowledge of labor positions in that. So I'm not saying women aren't fantastic in that, including in security detail. I do not know one way or the other, but I'll tell you my personal experience is I almost am I've come to the point where I'm more comfortable with one of my executives being female rather than male, strictly on experience. Doesn't mean I wouldn't hire a male. That's just my experience and the way it is. And I also want to say, as I dive into this topic, that I'm not going to be the guy fighting against DEI initiatives, which is what this whole issue is. There's already lots of voices on that. My voice isn't going to add a bunch to that. Instead, what I'm looking for always is a way that I can extract lessons and values for me and for you, our community, and we can learn in our lives and we can learn in our businesses. Let's see what we can conclude from these current events. I also want to say that I love diversity, but I love it for its own sake. I don't love it as an initiative. I will say that in my businesses, throughout my businesses right now, I figured out last night as I was thinking about this, that I'm literally the only white male in any of my management team and any of my businesses. Me, personally, that's it. Everyone else is female or not a white male. It's amazing. Now, I did that not on purpose. I did that by focusing on meritocracy first, and the diversity is what happened, right? And so there's interesting, moving on with my disclosures, my disclaimers, moving on with Zero Hedges posts. Instead of admitting to facilitating an assassination attempt on Donald Trump last Saturday, either through, quote, malice or massive incompetence, end quote, the U.S. Secret Service is appalled that people are criticizing their decision to place short, incompetent women on Trump's security detail. By the way, the Trump family uniformly has said exactly the opposite. They said every one of these Secret Service personnel were fantastic. They have said, in particular, one of the sons called out one of the women on there that he knows and said she was fantastic. He's had her before. So the protectees don't have the same view as Zero Hedge on this, but this is the narrative that's being created. The current head of the United States Secret Service is Kimberly Cheadle. She was appointed September 17, 2022. So this is completely a Biden administration thing. And her stated goal, her stated value, her new value, didn't say anything about protecting presidents, didn't say anything about protecting vice presidents or former presidents. It said her goal is to attract diverse candidates, provide opportunities to everyone in the workforce with a particular focus on increasing the representation of women. She has set a target to have 30% women in the agency. She wants everyone to wear a red hat. That is her stated goal. Now, how might you implement such a goal if you had a stated goal in your organization? Well, you would call in all your executives and you would say, this is our value. I want you to do this. Yeah, you still need to protect those protectees. I'm not saying we don't care about that anymore. I'm just saying we're going to do it with this new value operating at the same time. And if you do not implement, this new value, well, you're not going to get promoted. You may not stay around here very long. I'm going to reward you for implementing diversity programs, and I'm going to not reward you. I'm going to punish you for not doing that. So if you're one of the supervisors within the Secret Service, within this organization, and you're looking for a person to promote, or you're looking for members to put on President Trump's detail, who are you going to pick? Are you going to go back to the tallest and strongest, the agent with the most merit? Is that what you're going to do, the best of the best? Or are you going to go lower your standards, as Ms. Cheadle said she did? She's admitted that she lowered her standards to achieve this goal, and select based on the diversity targets based on this new value. Well, it's an obvious choice, just like terminating the person that won't wear the red hat is an obvious choice. You're going to choose based on the short-term, immediately observable, measurable, objective target, and that is the DEI value. And you're going to not be so concerned about the longer term. What are the odds someone's going to take a shot at the president today anyways? Not measurable until it actually happens. You're going to give on that and focus on the short-term DEI. Competence is a more tricky thing to evaluate. And well, the executive will choose diversity over competence 100% on the time. So the question, we talked about this at Boeing as well last week, when we talked about Boeing and all of their troubles and lawsuits and doors falling off planes and planes crashing and diving out of the sky, right? We talked about this, and their, I think, 4-year-old, not 4 years old. The CEO has been in the position for 4 years, primarily with the DEI mandate. And what has happened is their safety, which I believe, and quality, which was their previous culture that made them a success, has dropped off the face of the earth. So the question is, the lesson for us is, can DEI and meritocracy coexist? Can DEI and meritocracy coexist? And this is not a comment on DEI. I told you up front, we're incredibly diverse, and meritocracy can exist within DEI. I mean, Sinclair Range and my companies are living proof of that, and we are proud of it. But it works because we focused on meritocracy first. DEI just happened. DEI is not a value at our company. It happened because we focus on meritocracy first. Meritocracy as a culture will always trump, DEI as a culture will always trump meritocracy, always. Whether the culture is safety or quality, as is needed at Boeing, or a mission to successfully protect your protectees at the Secret Service, that mission, protecting and having a successful mission at the Secret Service, or quality safety at Boeing, will always lose. It will always lose to DEI, because DEI is immediate, verifiable, measurable, and objective. That's just a fact. So DEI is going to die, as it's already dying all over America, because you have these conflicting values. And if you're trying to affect change, we see this in small businesses, mid-sized businesses all the time. You have conflicting values. You're not hyper-focused on what it is that's going to make you a success. When you look up Sam Silverstein, we talked about earlier, on LinkedIn, also check out, he has an upcoming webinar reviewing the Department of Justice, the DOJ monitoring of Boeing, which we talked about last week. And he's going to be discussing the idea of monitoring culture, which is exactly the right thing to do. But how will he handle this conflicting culture issue? That'll be interesting. Maybe I should get him on the show to ask him. I think that is all I have prepared for you today, and I'm 29 minutes and 20 seconds in, dead on perfect. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. I think we're going to try to bring in our first live guest into the live stream on Monday. Just checking if anybody has questions in the comment sections. Nope, I don't think it. And so we are good to go. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you Monday morning. Have a great weekend.